Hello and welcome to the Pilot Review Show. This is another fantastic week with a fantastic set of stories going on. I'm Scott Ross. I'm hosting here again. Timber, you're fired. Alright, just saying, you're fired. No, actually, we didn't excuse him tonight. He's actually out having fun with his daughter. They're doing a little campfire, I guess, from what I understood, from what he told me, and he asked me to step in and host for him today, apparently. So, but he's fired still. Joining me today is normal. We got a crew here. Chris, go ahead and introduce yourself since I heard you laugh there.
Happening.
And TeacherKirby's also here with us. Maybe. Did she leave?
I hope not.
Quiet in the scene. Okay. Anyways, also with us here we got Artie.
Hello.
So, I'm going to get started whether teacher's here or not. Well, she'll come and join us, I guess. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and go on. I mean, we've got a show notes this going on. So, as you can see, the first thing that's on our list here is the Fleet Station K-13 returns. What do you guys think about that?
Go
ahead.
You would like? Yeah. All right. I think it actually would do really great in the RP community because I have seen some fleets that do TOS centric stuff, and this will actually help out a whole lot more than having to use the normal starbase for like their usual RP and stuff. They can actually now use a TOS looking starbase for any of their stuff. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be big for you with the RP because it's going to be key essential if you want to do your TOS stuff. And especially with the nice little TOS bridge officers and everything else like that. So that's going to be, this is going to be fun. You know,
oh yeah.
And you know, the other thing is, they got a lot of fleets here that's got all their holdings, it's all maxed out. And it's going to be nice to have something that they can do when there's smaller holdings to give their members more stuff to do. Because, like, my fleet, it's small. So, you know, it'd be nice to give them some more stuff that they can do. And because it's tier 4, so it's... everything is there. So...
I was actually kind of surprised they released, or planned to release a new holding. At least this far away from the lab and everything. But I did hear one little rumor that it's supposedly going to be a T5. I don't know if that's true or not, but it could potentially have 5 tiers. But if you're looking for TOS weaponry, stuff like that, or just, if you're like me, you like the original TOS gun, but didn't want to level it, this may be a viable option. And I want to see what these consoles do as far as tanking and everything, potentially, because that sounds intriguing to me.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because they said that they're engineering consoles that they're bringing here. So that's going to be interesting to see how that rolls and how that works out. Any other thoughts, ideas? I mean, we're missing teachers, so she can't really say a whole lot here, but... The next post, we'll move on to that. Some of the stuff... I mean, we've already talked about some of the stuff that they're giving out to us. For those of you who's not aware, what's happening is you're basically going into the station that's returned, K-13, that we saw disappear. It's returning, and you get to now go through and basically fix it up and make it all look nice. You know, and then you got new uniforms that you'll be able to see, TOS weapons, more TOS weapons, and some other fun classic stuff with the classic look on them.
Yeah, those heavy weapons look very snazzy.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of interesting. I kind of looked at it. It's like, yeah, that's kind of fun to see some of these old stuff like this.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back, teacher.
Back.
Thank you. Are we on the air yet?
Yes, we're on the air.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome, teacher. We're excited. So we're talking about the new fleet holding that's coming out.
Ah, yes, K-13. I am very interested to see. The article mentioned, I read it, but I'm going to have to pull it up to remember the exact wording here. Now, the article mentioned something about core powers, which I think was very interesting. Oh, it's in the second one.
Yeah. Well, we're on the second one as well, so you can, if you want to discuss it, feel free to. Go ahead.
Yes, so it mentioned something about having things that will buff players' core powers. And again, let me find the exact wording here. Trying to find it. I like the fact that they're going to have the old officers that are available. I'm wondering if this will be a way for us to get some of the 23rd century duty officer packs on non-23rd century characters.
Interesting.
That would be interesting.
Where is it? Okay, I'm not seeing it. Dang it!
Okay, well,
I hate when that happens.
it happens. It does. But anyways, there's a lot of things. I mean, just, as I was saying before, I mean, this is going to be one of those great things to have. And
I found it.
You found it. Where was it? Second article?
It was in the first article.
First article.
The K-13 returns. So
Okay.
it says, it's in the third to last paragraph. Advancing this new fleet holding through to its completion will also grant many incredible new options for equipping your ship and crew, as well as improving some of the core options available to your captain and your fleet mates. Now, this makes me wonder if they're going to do something similar to what they did with the research lab, where we could get an extra ship trait slot, an extra, an extra rep trait slot, and all of those. I'm wondering if they're going to be expanding something else. Like maybe let us buy more personal traits?
Personally, I feel like it may be something a little bit closer to how the dilithium mine works. Like, we get a discount for anything that we have to use dilithium to buy. So it might be something along those lines. But I do think it's leaning closer to what you're thinking.
Yeah, it does make me wonder what they could add in that. It's interesting to speculate about. But it is all speculation, folks. We have no inside info.
Yeah, we don't have the information. I mean, have they even put this out on Tribble yet? I don't think they have. I think this is just the initial announcement.
Not that I've seen yet.
Okay. We'll move on here. Let's go into the heavy escorts. This is on the console stuff. So this is not necessarily PC. For those of you that's on PC, you already know you have this. You got it. You're good. Some of you may have already purchased some of these packs, but this is the heavy escorts. It's coming over to the came to the consoles. Available soon. So once again, this is one of those things that they're rolling things out slowly. They're trying to make sure that everything's working right on the console level of things, making sure it's going to work right. So it's a slow rollout to get it up to where PC is, and it's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But here you got the nice little heavy escorts that's going on here. So this is one of the nice things about that is we're seeing these things. I mean, some of the stuff is happening quite fast, I would say. So
yeah, it is.
But
it is. So they're getting heavy escort carriers. It is important to note, if you buy the single ships instead of the bundle, it will lock out the ability to buy the bundles later. This is the same thing they did on PC when they introduced it.
Yeah, this is one of those things. So if you're wanting to save the cost and think that you can just buy like one chip and then that's going to count towards the bundle. No, it doesn't. It's not even there. So if you plan to buy in the bundle, buy it from the very get-go. If you plan to buy more than one chip from the pack, because otherwise you'll spend a little bit more on it trying to get it, because you don't get the pack. Even if you purchase 2 of the ships with the pack, you don't get the pack version because you spent the 6,000. All right.
Yes.
That's one
essentially saves you $30.
Yeah, it really does. It's one of those things about it. And at this case here, well, you can have either any of the faction ships taken care of and done with. Great deal for you, really, when it comes down to it. I'm not going to push it. I'm just saying, if you guys plan to do something like that, plan ahead like that, and you'll be fine. You won't have any issues later on trying to complain about something that's not working right, or you're not able to get something. So.
And they are good little ships, too, if you're looking for something to fly around in.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're totally great little ships, to be honest. I mean, any one of them can do a great amount of things. They're quite fun with what they can do as well. So.
Yes, they are.
Release notes. This is for the PC.
Yes.
So now we have to actually be talking about going through things and saying, this is PC, this is console, this is PC.
Well, you notice I put it in the notes with this nice little, I put parentheses, and then I noted what it's for.
Yeah.
So that helped me keep it straight.
This has a good amount of update notes in it. It's not like it's not like it has been in the past where it's just been a one-liner or two-liner thing. It's actually got a few things.
And the reason we didn't have any release notes for the consoles was because they had said it's down, no patch notes on Twitter. So, for console, so no patch notes for console.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense there, but what I'm seeing here, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to look at the notes. I got pulled into this last minute. Well, all today, but I've been busy doing other things when it comes down to it. But it looks like pretty basic things. They're not like they're not huge or anything like that. So,
I think the biggest thing is the mines and cluster torpedoes gain a damage/damage mod at gold instead of
an AC
the act
damage
mod,
which makes sense because
yeah, it does, because why do mines need accuracy?
Yeah.
Basically throw at them.
They're already the tracking. Let's be honest. As soon as they activate and they see the target and they go after the target, they don't have to. They're not like a beam.
And it does also say that existing ones that you already have, will convert to damage/damage.
Yeah, which saves you time if you've done it. Yep. There's quite a few people that would have done it because there's some people that do love their mines.
Mm-hmm. And so this is actually, I think this is a good change for mines and cluster torps. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. The other thing is the threatening stance.
Yep.
So it now has a 3-second recharge time and a minor delay between activating the toggle and being treated as in threatening stance. So if you're one of those people who would hit your threatening stance, so you're threatening and then hit a heal every 20, hit a heal very quickly and then go back into non-threatening so that you can get that cooldown in your strategist tree every 20 seconds of your bridge officer abilities, you will now have to hit it 3 seconds earlier, wait, then make sure you know exactly when you need to hit your heal, and then go and hit it to get off of it. So, yeah, there's a delay and a 3-second time before you're active, before you're being treated as threatening, and it's actually because they don't want people going click, 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 and in threatening, click your heal, out of threatening, done.
Yeah.
So they didn't actually want that, so they've changed how it works slightly.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, nothing is just an instant. You're there, you're out. You're there, you're out. I mean, if you think about it, if you're doing a sausage separation, it takes a little while for the sausage to separate. You can't just instantly separate, make your turn, then reconnect in 2 seconds and go back and reseparate.
I think the biggest thing is they were looking at it as they're getting all of the perks, the
Yes.
bridge officer cooldown and without any of the downside.
Yep.
Because, in the second it takes to activate the ability and switch back, you haven't really drawn any threat, and so you're not really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Yep, totally.
Yeah, so they wanted to change that a little bit, is my guess there.
Oh, here's one for you,
And what I've
Artie.
heard.
Resolved clipping issues at the wrist while wearing the veteran decorated Klingon bracer. RP related stuff. Only the RPers notice like little clipping issues that goes on with stuff in uniforms.
I would like to point out there's always going to be something that's clipping with something else.
Yeah,
But-
because not everything is
Yeah.
designed to work with it perfectly. So
Yeah, but I'm really glad they're taking care of these small clipping issues piece by piece when it comes across. So
It's nice. It helps with immersion.
immersion.
My immersion.
See one that's actually one of our friends was talking about that despises film grain. 23rd century Constitution Bridge now has NPCs correctly sitting in chairs, and the film grain effect has been added as a toggle option.
Yay!
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, that works. They still gotta fix the audio level up effects for playing 23rd century captains,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
Yes.
I can live with that.
But 23rd century TOS security officers now have appropriate TOS themed weapons. That's back to that immersion thing.
Anyways, enough of the immersion here.
Okay.
We're not in Star Trek immersion. Let's move on here. Let's go on and continue on here. Sorry, Artie. Key
it's
ring
completely fine.
bundle. How many guys got one?
Yes.
I may have gotten one or four.
All right, I stopped at 2. I think you have a problem, sir.
Talk to me next
I
week.
admit nothing.
Talk to me next week, or this Friday, I should say. This next Friday. My status might change. I might. Yeah.
Well, I haven't, because my main way of getting Zen is to buy it with dilithium.
Ah, yeah, you're one of
And
those.
when you do the math, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I'm living on disability, and my husband's Walmart wage. We don't have a lot of money to spare. So,
Excuses.
that's the way it goes. Anyway, so when I looked at this, don't get me wrong, it's a nice plus. Okay? It is a nice plus if you're going to buy the keys anyway. It's a nice plus. But if you're going out of your way to buy this for the upgrade, personally I wouldn't recommend it, because with the dilithium that you're either going to use to buy the Zen, or that you could get with the Zen that you spend to buy this, you can upgrade multiple items to 14 Epic. Okay? So if you're getting it just for the upgrade, pass. If you're buying the keys anyway, sure, go for it. It's a nice little bonus. Okay?
Yeah,
But
just don't do it
yeah.
for the things themselves, for the upgrades,
Yeah.
because it's not worth it,
Yeah.
really.
and I can understand where people that have been complaining about it from that standpoint are coming from, because I think we were talking about this before the show. Just taking 100,000 dill, I can take 100,000 dilithium, which is 1/10 of what this would cost, by the way, in dilithium, or what you would get for the Zen if you bought dilithium with it. And I can take 100,000 dill, and I can upgrade 5 science consoles, plasma explosion science consoles, from Mark 10 to Mark 14 Epic. Maybe one might still be 14 Ultra Rare, but usually I can get all 5 of them and still have, still have a little to spare. Okay, with that 100,000. Now you consider that that's 1/10 of what you would get or have to spend in dill to buy this pack. You can do a lot with that dilithium on your own for multiple items instead of just the one item that you're going to get to 14 Epic with this.
Yeah. And this is also good for those of you who have your gear set up with the right specs that you want on the items, and you want to get it to 14, but don't want to spend the dilithium cost to get it up to that level.
Yeah.
You can do that, or if you or in other cases you got it up to ultra rare, but you don't want to spend the amount of time, and all you got is just 2-3 pieces left of things you need to get up. Then you can use it to get it up into a guaranteed epic state, rather than guessing, is this going to go? Is this going to go? Is this going to go? And spending 300,000 dilithium to 3 million on the single piece of gear.
Right. Now I have thought about the best, or probably the most efficient ways to use it. For example, if you have a piece of rep gear, for example, say the Thoron infused Polaron beam. I just got that on one of my tunes, that's why it came to mind. Rep gear is notoriously expensive to upgrade. Yes, notoriously expensive. So if you have that, and you were going to buy the keys anyway, and you get this, go ahead, use it on that. It's not going to be really a waste.
Yeah, pretty much any rep gear, I would be using it on myself. If I was to use like my Romulan plasma setup, I would use it on that stuff, because that is expensive to get up, and I just wouldn't care if and I wouldn't care what mods it got necessarily, because I'd just be trying to get it up into the epic stage, because what I've seen and noticed, I mean, there's only minute differences that goes on that makes it worth getting in all the mods that you want for chasing any DPS numbers and whatnot.
Now, if you are going to use it on something crafted like a beam array, use it on, you can get a low mark beam array that is ultra rare, that has all of the mods, so you know what you're getting, you're not going to be surprised, and use it on that. You know, if you buy a Mark 6 or Mark 7 ultra rare damage 3 crit D or damage 3 pen, you can save a bundle of money, a bundle of EC doing that, and then use this on it. You know what you're going to get at that point, because you have all the mods on it already. So you don't have to worry, and boom, it's 14 epic.
Yeah.
You know, so that would be possibly one of the ways I would see using this. But basically I would do either reputation gear or fleet gear if you're waiting on that last item to upgrade, and you know.
Even it depends on the fleet gear, honestly, in my opinion, because a lot of the fleet gear is, especially the consoles, are still cheap to do.
They can be. The weapons, I think, are the worst for.
Weapons are always going to be the worst, because they take a little bit more. I mean, you're talking 80 to 200 and 300,000 tech points to get those upgraded into the next level and tier, where the consoles are about 40 to 60 typically. So I don't necessarily consider those the way that I personally, anyways, wouldn't use these ultra mega instant 14 epics on a consoles. Unless it happens to be some console that they make that is super mega expensive to do, and then that becomes a different story.
Right.
But and then the other thing is not everything needs to be epic. Let's be honest here.
This is true. Not everything does need to be epic.
If you're a perfectionist, now that's a different story. If you're someone like me that's just insane and crazy and doesn't mind spending the lithium on things, that's a different story. I'm not going to discourage you guys from doing that, but it's one of those things that really isn't necessary to get those up into the epic level just because you think it needs to be gold color for the best of the best. So, but that's something to be aware of. If you got 20 keys, you can go and get, if you're planning on buying keys anyways, it's a good way to go, because it's the same amount.
Right. It doesn't cost any more. If you were to buy 2 10-key bundles,
Right
you
now,
would spend the same amount of money as you would buying the 20-key bundle and get the upgrade for free.
now I would be honest,
So-
when it comes down to my methods of things, I wouldn't be buying right now on keys to begin with unless I was to buy this pack for this specific reason of getting like 8 to 15 different of these upgrades so I can use it
Right.
on a specific ship that I have in mind. But anyways, that's something just be aware of. We want you to be. This is on.
Yeah.
This is what on PC. It looks like.
This is on PC.
Yep.
So we're not saying don't get it. What we're saying is be a thoughtful buyer. If you're going to be spending dilithium to get it, you're probably better off spending that dilithium on upgrades rather than you'll get more bang for your buck rather than spending the dill for this.
Yep.
If you're going to be, if you were going to buy keys anyway, wonderful, you get a freebie. Thank you, Cryptic.
Be aware of your
But,
options,
yeah.
essentially.
Be aware of your options, exactly. And it's not a bad upgrade, and yeah. But I personally will most likely not be getting it.
Going on
Sorry.
here. Sorry, Cryptic. We love you, but not that much. On this. Next item coming up here is the upgrade weekend for the consoles.
Yes. Consoles are currently in an upgrade weekend. So right now, if you have upgrades, they're worth twice as much in the tech points. So an upgrade that would normally give 12,000 something will now give 24,000 something towards the tech points. So upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Now's the time, folks, if you are playing console.
There you go. And it's not everyone's going to be at that point either, because some people are taking their time playing the console because they want to enjoy the game. They're also doing it so they can get their medals for exploring everything in the maps and whatnot. So, there's going to be some people that's not quite there yet. And so this is one of those things that's kind of based upon who's advanced, because there already is people that's maxed out on the consoles. It's just a matter of who is maxed out and who's ready to be upgrading at this point, which does take some time to get to that point. Because not everyone's going to have their superior upgrade kits. I think that's going to be... I almost wonder if there's anyone that out there that actually has a level 10 in the R&D section yet. Oh.
I think it depends on how much they've put into it, because it is possible, remember, with R&D to buy your way out of
Yes,
the
you can.
big projects.
You can totally buy your way into the projects, but I wonder how many people out there is actually at that point where they've done that. Because you got your mega expending people and whatnot, but I wonder how many is actually at that point. And maybe this is something that's a little too early, but it's good to see that they're doing it nonetheless, because it is such a popular thing on the PC.
It is. So hopefully, even if you haven't gotten to 50, you may be wanting to upgrade some of the gear that you do have so far.
Yep.
And so you can do that. You just won't be able to upgrade it all the way to 14 yet.
Yes, it's true.
And it'll perform the best it can for the level you're at.
All right, moving on here. We're going to it's the budget builds corner, which he's not here. Timber,
He's not here.
you're fired. Once again, you're fired. I take
say we
great
give him
pleasure
a
in
I
that.
get to tell him? Can I tell him?
He can. No, it's my pleasure to tell him that he's fired. He can listen to the episode and hear how many times he's been fired, and I think we're on like time number 10 maybe by now.
Timber, you're fired and you're getting a flea bath.
Teacher can give him the bath.
My.
I'm
Anyways.
slightly concerned.
You can RP it there, Artie.
No, I'm good.
I couldn't resist. Let's go through this build real quick here, anyways. Even though he's not here, just to show people. This is he looks like he's using the Sovereign here. So we got.
That's the one he talked about last week, isn't it?
Maybe, I don't know.
You talked a little
Was
bit
I here last week? I might have been late.
You were, but you were late.
I wasn't paying attention to half of what you guys were saying, anyways. It's not my job.
I think he talked briefly about it. I don't think he went into too much detail, though.
I think he did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is the Sovereign ship here that he's given to us. We'll just go through it real quick here and show you some of the stuff. It's going to be in the show notes here.
Yep.
Yes, this one is. This one would be classified as a tank. This is everything that you see here is basic level stuff that you can either grab from going doing missions. Some people are calling this a free build because it doesn't cost anything to get all the stuff, and that's fine. You know, this fits within a budget. If you can't afford anything, it fits. Let's be honest.
Few reputation items.
Yep.
So, but other than that, everything looks to be either mission rewards or, including the weapons. The weapons are all either, one of them is a rep weapon, the experimental proton beam, but everything else is mission reward.
Yeah. So that's one of the fun things that comes on with it when it comes right down to it. It is what it is. It's designed to be there to give you guys something to look at, to be a different means of doing it. And unfortunately with the Sovereign, it has a very set style to it, so it's not like you can do a whole lot. I personally don't know if I would do some of the things that he's done here, but then again, I'm different that way. Mm-hmm. I'm totally different. I'll admit it.
We're all weird in our own way.
So, but you see that he's got everything that's going on here. The skills that he's done looks like he's heavy in the tack side. Kind of medium on all sides, actually, technically. It's 19, 11, 16.
Oh, yeah. He's got more of a balanced...
It's more of a very balanced build that he's done here.
Yeah. He's got more into engineering than anything else. He's trying to beef up his survivability.
Intelligence and strategist.
Strategist, yep.
Strategist, I don't care.
He's probably using the strategist. I'm wondering if he's running in threatening stance when he runs this.
Probably is. I mean, he's probably trying to make this into a little bit of a tank setup.
My guess would actually be no, and the reason I would say that is because if you look at the science console, that's actually a plasma nullifier.
Oh, it is. Wow.
So a bit more on the expensive side of fleet consoles, yes, but it's about the same cost as purchasing 3 of the Gurnham Labs.
It's actually very cheap, to be honest.
It's actually, yeah, if you buy it at Mark
because you got the Mark X, so you got
fair point. I didn't notice that.
Also the warp core.
Yeah, the warp core is
he
fleet
did get
core.
a warp core, yeah.
Yeah.
A fleet warp core, which is probably the most expensive item on here.
Yeah, I think even that is like 12K fleet credits and like 3 to 4K in the dilithium. So it's cheaper than getting some of the fleet gear, or not fleet gear, but getting some of the rep gear. So we'll be honest here. But you know, it's still a solid build. This will still do you a lot of stuff. So it's just a matter of what you want to do with it and whatnot. So. There is that there for you here. Let's go on to the next area here. We'll kind of sit here with this ship here. If you want to join the guys, they're actually somewhere in the game. I don't know where. You guys in game somewhere, right?
We're at
somewhere.
We're at Starbase 39 Sierra Instance 1.
You're not expecting me to get in game, are you?
No.
Okay, good. I would have to fire you if you expect me to get in game. Anyways, Buggy Corner, Chris, go on.
Alrighty, got a few different ones here. And since we've got some console stuff and PC stuff, figured I would go ahead and point out some of the console ones that I'm seeing. There's a few people on the PS4 that are reporting that whenever they attempt to withdraw from their account bank, in the cases that they have multiple tunes, that it is actually crashing. And they're actually getting the error code CE-34878-0. So if you are seeing this error code, please let us know. Please post something up so we can see it. That's, depending on what you're transferring, can be a very big pain in the rear, very big loss potentially. If you're like this poor guy and are trying to pull your dilithium mining claims out and it's crashing on you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would hurt.
Definitely report that. Then there's another guy that I've not tested it personally yet because I've not got to that point on the Xbox. But supposedly there is a guy on the forums currently that is saying he has found a workaround for the missing ship for Tier 2 on the Xbox. So if you are still having that issue, please post up a report, find one of the active ones, say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is what it's doing. If you're getting error codes, definitely please report that, because that is a very, actually, game-breaking issue if you don't have one of the C-Store ships that you could go to. Obviously, a few graphical bugs, which is to be kind of expected.
Yeah.
Then, this one, for some of you that may have invested in the C-Store ships, I've only seen one instance of this so far. There's a guy that has the Galaxy class console set and is reporting that it's not letting him use his antimatter spread console on his tray whenever he's in space. So, if all of your other consoles are working, if you're seeing something like this, maybe it's letting you use your spread but not one of the others, please let us know, because we want to get that fixed for everybody. And although that may not necessarily per se be game-breaking, that can be a big pain later on depending on what you're trying to use. Finally, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say,
No, I
there's a
thought you
few
were done.
people that also are reporting that they're having issues with the upgraded system, not allowing them to claim things that they have upgraded. Again, please let us know when stuff like this happens. Post up a report to the devs, that way they can get it fixed. They are very good about reading reports, even if they're not always able to say, hey, we see this. They'll usually put something in the known issues that we talk about here on the show, and they will get to it very, very quickly whenever they can. I know some of these issues do take a little bit longer, but when you're working with code, it's not as easy as just flipping switches as much as all of us wish it was. I admit I wish it was, because then, I'd flip about 30 codes if they would let me, but anyway, point being, please let us know if you see bugs. At the moment, they still do not yet have a separate forum for the consoles. So when you go to the ARC forums to report a bug, just put something in the description saying, hey, this is on the Xbox One or this is on the PS4. That way they're able to know what version's going on, preferably the patch number, so they can get an idea of how old it is, what build they need to refer to, and so on. But anyways, I shall pass it back to you fine folks.
Thank you very much.
By the way, I still can't get into my account bank from the trade freighter in space. Just saying.
He would give me paperwork live on there.
Hey, I gave it to you last week, man.
A duplicate set of paperwork.
Yes.
Just have to say it, just because we can. More bugs.
It's a
This
game
is
for
not
them.
including the paperwork that I gave you earlier this week that we can't talk about.
See, it's a game to
But,
these
yeah.
people to see how much they can melt my brain, and I'm convinced that they sit back whenever I'm not around. It's like, all right, how can we melt his brain today?
Yes, this is the main topic of discussion on the Continuum TeamSpeak. How can we melt Chris's brain?
Would you like me to mention my Aquarius?
No. No. We're not going to go there. We're not just no.
Anyways, moving on here.
Anyway.
Teacher's Corner. Let's go on over there to that corner of the crazy person.
Okay. Yes, I am a crazy person. So this topic actually came up in TeamSpeak once we figured out how to melt Chris's brain. So Okay. So, and it has to do with the secondary ground weapon slot. A lot of people don't realize that if you put a weapon there, even if you never use it or never activate, you just kind of slip it there and like sweep it under the rug and don't look at it, it still counts towards set bonuses. And people don't realize this. So that's basically the video in a nutshell.
Yay!
That your secondary weapon slot counts towards your set bonuses.
Didn't they have an issue with this on Space that they fixed it so they didn't do this because people was using it
Space? I don't know.
Yes, they did. Shuttles.
Oh.
Once upon a time,
That's right.
you could equip the Nukara space set on your shuttle and gain the reflective shield on your spaceship.
You're right. I forgot about that. But that
Chris,
was a
this might
bug.
be something that might be classified as a bug because the weapon is not being used.
Please tell me y'all did not just give me more paperwork.
I kind of wish they didn't.
Well, let's go on logic here, okay? I'm not trying to kill that for everyone. So if you guys want to flame me on, feel free to. I don't care. But I'm pointing this out. The weapon is not in use, but it's giving you a set bonus for it being used and equipped in the secondary slot.
Not used, but equipped while it's in the
Yes.
secondary slot.
So it's giving you a
Which-
bonus without it being actually used, and it's a weapon.
But it is equipped. All it has to do is be equipped.
In a case like that, I could see both sides, but personally,
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning towards what Kirby's saying, and the reason I would say that is because in the case of your shuttle, it's equipped on an entirely different
Yeah,
ship than
well,
your main starship.
this is one of those things. You know, the shuttle though was considered a secondary item, a secondary ship, too.
That's true.
It
But
has
it's still
it has an entirely different.
ship.
It has
But
an
it's a
entirely
completely
different
different ship.
setup. But we're talking a secondary weapon. All right. Couldn't a shuttle be considered a secondary weapon as well?
No,
of that.
because
No,
the
think of it.
I would say no, because the shuttle, when not being used, would be in your hangar bay, which would be inside
Not
the
necessarily.
ship.
Inside the ship.
The argument could be made for that. The argument could also be made the other way. But I would say that it's not a bug just yet, which this is something I'll have to ask about, obviously, from our banter here. But I would say it's not a bug, and the reason I would say that is because it's still equipped to your person.
Yes.
It's kind of like the best comparison I could give would be in Call of Duty or The Division or some similar game. You have the weapon on you, it's still there, you could still use it. All you're doing is technically pulling out your sidearm. The gun is still there, it's just a matter of where it's located on your person.
It's just a matter of whether you pull it out or not, which,
Yeah.
if all that's being necessitated is it being equipped, then yeah.
Definitely something
Then
we'll
it
have
is
to ask
equipped,
about.
it's on your person.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when I think about it, I think, okay, it shouldn't be there with it being a weapon until it's actually being called for and used. But that's just my thoughts and opinion.
Nah.
Because, I mean, we're not talking like it's a armor or a device that's being used and called for, and it doesn't really matter because it's equipped and slotted and ready to use. You had to physically switch weapons to pull out that weapon, and some people would be using that just solely for that thing, even though they never switch weapons.
Fair points
But
all
still.
around.
Yeah, fair point. But I don't think it's a bug, and I think it's a nice little way to still be able to use your favorite weapon and still get a 3-piece set bonus.
If that gets fixed, people's going to so kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Ground pounder, you better fear for your life, man. If
I
you
don't
start seeing
fear
red
for my
dots on your
life.
forehead,
Fair
Oh.
warning to the devs, I apologize for the headaches that I gave you in advance.
well, you know, I think it warrants a good good looking at, see if it actually is something that they intended it, because that's one of the things when I think about it, I don't necessarily think it's something that I would have done because of the fact that it's not the focused item and it's being equipped as a weapon that you can switch in between and out of. And yeah, there was only a few cases that I recall in this series where a officer of any sort held multiple weapons to begin with, multiple like phasers and rifles. You know, I don't remember many of them doing that, to be
But
honest.
it is
true.
done.
Well, let's think about when this would have been done. This would have been done probably like for those of you who remember the Voyager episodes where Janeway equips a bunch of stuff on her as she goes off and battles the little insects that's infesting her ship.
Hmm.
That would have been one of the times that this would have occurred.
I would say that would be more like a kit
Yeah, exactly.
than
But
the thing. But that would be the only time that I've really seen anything like that.
yeah, where they actually
Yeah,
go and
kit-wise
equip
like that.
massive Rambo style.
Yeah, yet we do that all day in STO. We have the
Yeah.
Rambo style kits.
And this is
Gives us-
anyway. This is a little rant. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things that I've never
It is.
liked. I never personally liked the secondary ground weapon because honestly, if I wanted to switch weapons, I would have just had another weapon equipped in the first place for the specific mission I was going down to, like they do on any of the away missions. They're not going down there with the same weapon every single time. Sometimes they're like, okay, we're going against the Borg. We need this weapon here that's going to be modifying the shots every single time. So, anyways, a little rant. Let's get off it. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go on here. So we're on now into the last part of our episode here, RP
Party.
Corner.
Okay, so
He gets the end of our rant.
all right. Since K-13 is going to be coming back around as a fleet thing, I decided to start talking about a throwback to TOS. Since we already have the Agents of Yesterday, and now a new fleet holding coming about, I believe there are going to be a lot of people trying to do more TOS oriented stuff. I do know there are some fleets that don't that are obviously set in the 25th century, but I have also seen almost the same amount of fleets that do specifically TOS. I mean, they may have a character that's set in the 25th century, but they all roleplay as if it was like mid 23rd, or like during the Enterprise's 5-year mission or something like that. So I feel like with the new stuff coming about, it will really help them. I don't know how the interior of K-13 will really be like as of yet, but I hope it does come with like its own little command section that we see in the mission when we're on K-13, its own little like labs that we see and that sort of thing. I hope it's a really big map, basically. So that's basically my little spit about that.
Okay. Should be fun.
That'd be cool.
I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I'm kind of hoping that the graphics is going to be very good, very nice, and aesthetically is going to be something that's going to be fun to RP, and because we're going to see this base build up from basically completely devastated to hopefully being back into a fully working, functioning order. And that's going to be the fun part about the base. And I think that's when we're going to really see the TOS guys come out and say, hey, look what we can do now. Yay! Stuff like that.
Just my thing is, since we don't know much of how it will look, I wonder if they're going to make it look updated when it gets to like tier 5 or tier 3 or whatever tier they're going to make it. Or if they're just going to make it look like very retro TOS instead of making it look all the way updated up to 25th century specs, you know?
I think they're going to still keep it a little bit on the TOS here because you got to remember how picky a lot of these people can be with TOS stuff. people are expecting this to be TOS, so the moment it goes away from TOS, the sooner people is going to complain too cryptic on the forums, and you see the forums light up if it does something like that.
But I can shut that part down.
Yeah.
Technically, how the base shows up for the fleet holding, it basically does a Babylon 5 jump. There's an episode, or multiple episodes, where the Babylon 5's predecessor, Babylon 4, was sent through time, basically. I feel like this is basically the same thing. It's sent forward to help us do whatever we need in this time period. So that's why I feel like it may be used as updated stuff. You know, that we may update it with whatever we need as a secondary outpost or something. Because we're probably, since the Iconian War is still recent, we're still technically still down from that. We don't have as many ships as we need, or as many outposts that we're still trying to repair. So anything of use that just appears is very helpful, is what I'm thinking. So yes, I would be happy with it going to strictly TOS and don't say anything from the 25th century in it. But on the other hand, for a lot of other fleets, that will really section it off, and they'll have to, of course, in role-playing, you always have to imagine something because it's not always perfect, but you would have to think about it much more since there's not much of the update to it, since it's going to still be all TOS tech.
It'd be interesting to see, nonetheless.
Right.
So, beyond that, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that's looking forward to this, both in all the realms. I mean, if they do the consoles right, we can end up having some consoles that are going to be very good for PvP, for PvE, and then the RP guys obviously get the especially big win on the Starbase, I would say.
Not to mention the new costume that's going to be coming with it.
Yes.
It's like civilian.
The console is nice because it's almost like it's a between TOS and the jumpsuits that they used on TNG to go through all the crawl space areas. Why am I forgetting? Yes.
The Jeffries tube?
The Jeffries tubes, yes. I mean, every time you see them go through the Jeffries tubes on TNG, they always put on jumpsuits that look exactly like those uniforms. So,
true.
I can say this because I've been watching it like all day. Anyways, that's the end of the show here. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to cut it here. Just about an hour.
Scott, I just had a thought. I was going to say, why don't we throw out a couple questions to our viewers? First of all, what do you think that they're going to give us in the new K-13 holding? What kinds of abilities do you think they're going to allow us to enhance, that kind of thing? And second, on the secondary weapon for ground, do you think it should be considered a bug or not?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Leave it in the comments section, and maybe we'll read your comment next week.
We'll see what we can do. Thank you very much. This has a couple of wrap-ups here. October 8th and 9th here, we got Timber's doing his charity stream that I want to make sure to push this out here. You got the charity stream that's going to go on the 8th and the 9th. And make sure to join us for that, because we will be streaming on the 9th or the 8th. The 8th. We'll be streaming Pilot Review during the charity stream. He'll be probably playing and hosting on his side here as we're talking in the background and doing things, and Chris is recording for YouTube purposes here. But that's one of the things we'll be doing on the 8th there, so make sure to come join us for that. We'll love to have you guys here. For those of you who have someone that has MS in their life, or you have it yourself, make sure to get with Timber as well, because we'd love to get you on here to talk about it if you're willing to come talk about it during the stream. It's going on all day on the 8th and the 9th. So just be aware that we'll be switching out, doing different games during that time frame. most of the time is going to be we're going to try and keep Timber mostly in the mic here as much as we can, so he gets nice and delirious like he did last year. Sorry, man.
Keep him conscious.
We'll keep him conscious. But so that's some of the things that we'll be doing there. Also, as a note, just to kind of tag it, make sure to go see our GoFundMe so we can help get back to Star Trek Las Vegas for next year. Want to make sure we want to get back out there. We had so much fun with that. I mean, that was such a blast. We're not trying to advertise it all the time, but that's something we do want to make sure that we mention at least once in a while. Because it is something that is heavy on our minds, because if it doesn't, one way or the other, I will probably end up paying for it if I don't make the money, but I would rather not have to do that, because this is expensive. It really is.
And I mean, remember, this allows us to meet with the devs and get dev interviews. It allows us to meet with some of the stars and get interviews from them. For example, we got to meet with Garrett Wong and Robert Picardo.
Yep.
Last time.
And I spoke personally with Rene
Auberjonois.
Yep. I spoke personally with him.
Yes.
A few times during that time there, and here's a funny story for someone that may not know, but we actually were in the spot where they were charging their cell phone as they were doing their tweets and whatnot during the convention. So they didn't have any power, because power is something you got to buy extra. So they came over to us since we had a computer, and they saw it, and they asked if they can use the power. So that was a good little in to talk with them and be able to enjoy some good laughs with them as we were waiting there before the show opened, or before the convention opened up to the vendors. So we had some good laughs in that way. So that's one of the things. We have so much fun, but the biggest point is we're trying to make this material available for you guys, because we realize some of you guys are not able to get there because of the fact that you're halfway around the world, and to get there would be way mega expensive, but you can watch us stream it live for you guys. So that's the biggest reason we want to stream it live for you guys, so you can see it and be able to experience it in your own way, even if it's not fully being there in person. So that's our goal. That's our aim. We want to get back there. We appreciate any help that you guys can give us. That's definitely going to be a huge send on that. But anyways, thank you for joining the Pilot Review Show. We're ending here. We're done. I'm going to go back to playing games like I was doing before, like I've been doing the entire stream here as it is, maybe. But join us next week. We'll be back once again at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.
See you then.
Peace out.
See ya.